Good morning, ma'am.
Well, good morning, dear.
Coffee. All right, so it's 9 o'clock. Welcome to the Quantum Capitalist Morning Trade with Us live stream with Natasha and Leslie. Um, Natasha, you want to get us started today? I guess that's probably best before we get in the charts to talk about whatever's in the economic or whatever's on the economic calendar.
Yeah, and so as I mentioned yesterday, there really isn't a whole bunch going on today outside of the fact that, which is a routine thing that the Fed Chair Powell and some of his other constituents will be testifying on the Hill today. So that testimony starts around 11 and it will go throughout the day. Um, it's difficult. So the whole point of this is his testimony about economic policy. However, people, the reporters and things like that, are free to ask whatever they want. So you don't have an outline per se, right? So with no outline, you don't know what's going to come up, and you don't know what could potentially spook the market or have the market decide that it wants to be in more of an uptrend. We are going to need a catalyst, and I've said this pretty much every morning. We're going to need a catalyst to break the 6,100. Um, the money, I don't want to say the money is easy right now, but when we're looking at um, what the market is doing, you have a whole bunch of different stocks that are hitting resistance and falling, which is making your profit making and taking a bit easier right now.
I'm just looking over. I'm looking at these three highs: 61.28.18, 61.20.91. So we have three lower highs and two lower lows. So that is an indication to me that, let me draw a fib real quick. Maybe I should just show you what I'm seeing on my chart. Let me get
That would
we
be
get
useful, ma'am.
because
I mean,
this
obviously I'm seeing it because it's
you can show it if you want. But I don't really look at it like that. But so what I'm seeing is a high, lower high, lower low, lower low. So we've got lower highs and lower lows. And if I were gonna try to, this is a low time frame chart, so not where I would usually start, but if I were, as a matter of fact, let me do something different.
let me peek over here what you're okay.
I would, if I were gonna do something on a low time frame like this, I would draw my fib there. And so we've been to the 886, we've been to the 79. Um, hmm. I see lower lows. I see at least a third lower low, which would be lower than 59.23.93.
Which
Um,
is what we've kind of called that level earlier in the week, but I just don't see what gets us there.
that's what I was going to ask you. What do you see as a potential? It could be anything, honestly.
More tariff news, and it might happen this week. I'm telling you. Um, the world is concerned about these retaliatory tariffs, and people
I think
having.
I read something yesterday, probably, that said, um, basically, we are kind of used to his tariff stuff now. We know he's serious. We know he's not kidding. And so almost like it's priced in to some extent and the responses will not be as extreme. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that 100%. I think to some degree that's probably true, but it all depends on what he says and what he imposes, I would think.
I would say so. I wonder what's sending everything lower this morning because everything is lower.
Yeah, I'm looking. I was looking early. Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking earlier and everything was like on a slight 1% decline. Um, China was around like 2 and some change, but this is now that I'm looking back, this is a little more extreme. Baba, however, is doing
Is
something different.
mm-hmm.
Um, but it doesn't surprise me. It's just what's today? Tuesday. Let
Yep.
me look at the last week. They get everybody excited going in one direction, and then they pull back the rest. They pull back the other direction, in my opinion. And so this
Even
could go
Bitcoin just
on.
took a
So
tumble.
Thursday, we'll see. Um, so I guess I have to watch Powell live. From what time did you say? 11:30.
So the testimony start. I don't know what time the actual testimony starts. He doesn't, and I'll give you a more precise time. He doesn't talk until. So we've got Powell at 10. Then we have Williams at 3:30. Bowman at 3:30. So those are probably going to be short statements, but Powell could be there testifying half the damn day.
That's the way love goes, as they say. All right, so we talked about earnings quite a bit this morning in our morning call. What do you want to look at? I think I put some potential earning plays in the chat this morning, but what would you like to look at, dear? I can take my charts down.
Well, you know that I am a fan of Twilio and its potential on earnings. Um, we have that. ANET coming up. Coin earnings are of particular interest. You know, I like that. And I can't see, well, we've all seen it before, right? So in theory, it should do something and it doesn't, based on whatever it is that they choose that they want to do or not to do. Um, but I found that to be kind of interesting. You know, the other thing that I'm finding kind of interesting, I meant to mention it to you yesterday when we were talking about China as a whole. Baidu had a nice little run yesterday and it's pulled back about 4% based on who knows why the market is behaving this way right now. But I feel like Baidu actually has some potential and it's the one that hasn't really run hard. So
That's
I
what
wanted
I
to
said.
maybe,
It's like I feel like Baidu is the best of the three, and I'm talking about PDD,
mhm.
Baba, and Baidu. I feel like it's the best of the three. But yet Baba is doing the opposite of what the other two are doing. Let me pull Baidu up on a high time frame so we can see what you're talking about. We said it hasn't. Hmm. No, we
Yeah, and I didn't. So Baidu at some point traded $300, if I'm not mistaken.
we about to find out. Shoot. BIDU. I just want to, because the charts are so similar. I want to get a side by side comparison of what's going on. I'm going to remove all of. Hmm. You are correct. So I like this trade. Thank you for pointing this out because I knew that they were similar kinds of in their movement. Like you got the bullish divergence here on both charts. But the key difference is on the daily, Baidu is sitting right on the 200 moving average.
Mm-hmm.
So let's explore. Okay, so there's a trade. There's a definite trade. You want me to go look for a contract? What are you thinking in terms of
I'm
date?
thinking long term. Like, if you drop it to like 3 month view and you look back, I mean, I know we don't like to go back, but so far, the potential here is epic.
I go back, like sometimes I'm up here on the monthly chart. And so I just don't use this stuff down here at all. Never have, not familiar with that. But I'm looking at a monthly. We
But
can
look at the
look at it.
potential.
I like it as well. And you can see, I think that everything, yeah, yeah. So I'm trying to find somewhere, the fib rules. I'm trying to find something that I'm gonna go here.
I was gonna say
Um,
it was like I was actually kind of not confused, but it was just like, well, where would I draw this fib?
so
Uh,
that's why lots of times I'll have to go out if I can't see it on the daily. I will get more of a broad view, 9/11, and look at the weekly or the monthly if I have to. I like this because it makes it kind of easy, in my opinion, to let me drop down now that we have it up here. For me to just say, all right, I'm gonna trade it to the 200. But if you look at it on the monthly, you get about $21 a month, and you've got your 50 moving average, 200 moving average right here at the 0.236.
mm-hmm.
So 140. And based on our ATR, we could be there in 2 months. I think that with earnings on 218, this could be wrong. Um, where would we confirm that? Because lots of times this is
So with
wrong.
these ADRs, yeah, I don't know where we would confirm it. Let's see though. Maybe we have a roundabout time frame if. But yeah, I like that it's the one that hasn't run hard. It's
Hmm.
like finding the. Ooh, and that thing went down to 87.
I'm going to let me see. I can either
So
stop
it
shorting.
says February 18th pre-market, actually.
Okay, so that may be right. I can either drop my charts down and let you show some charts, go over coin and Twilio and um or I can show them how I find my contracts. But
Um, Up to you. Like I don't have Twilio marked up. I'm just seeing what I see. Oh, I do have Twilio marked up. That's we're on the 1 hour.
all right,
Um,
I'm gonna let you rock and find a contract for the chat real quick then.
okay. Let me go ahead and share my screen
IV is good on these contracts too.
on the Baidu contracts, or
Yep, yep.
Hmm, that's strange. I don't know why it doesn't want to let me do this. Why it's not trying to let me share. Technical difficulties this morning. There we go. All right. So drop back down to the monthly here. Let me see this. So I think we have to go back to the monthly just to kind of take a look at some of the potential here. And I only drew my higher time frame from November till now. But you can see when you're looking back across the monthly, there's quite a bit of range there. Let me expand this here for you. Um, Looking at the daily, I feel like we can go at least to 150. We're trading down a little bit, but I see like 165 here. Coin, coin is just coining. It keeps getting here to the 382. Well, it's done that a couple of times. It gets just above 382 and drops, keeps touching it and coming back down. So it's acting as resistance for it. Um, I personally, so I think I've mentioned a couple of times these 300 and 305s. Um, in terms of a level for earnings, I could actually see it get as high as maybe 330. I don't know if it does that on an earnings play, but when we look at, Leslie and I were talking about an article that she read about how to view coin. So if you're looking at it as a bank, if you're looking at it as um, an exchange, and just how they make their money, which I think I kind of alluded to the other day, with it being okay, so it running with Bitcoin or in the opposite direction. When Bitcoin is dropping, I feel like when you have these wild swings in the different coin prices, that actually brings about more transactional income for them. And they never close. They don't have holidays. They don't have any of that. So I can't see why their earnings would be bad, like at all.
I think that the only concern that I would have is my theory about it being more about the position on the top on the chart and the technicals
Hmm.
than anything else. So that would be my only real concern about it. Um,
I mean,
and
it's.
I'm not.
I mean, you see, it's got room, I think, to run to 350.
Let me look.
Maybe not necessarily on earnings, but feeling like a
Can
330.
let me see the daily and perhaps the weekly. Okay, I see where you got your fib. We've been to the 618.
Mm-hmm.
We are. I'm struggling here. Where's your 200?
Where is my 200?
What color is it? Is it
Yeah,
the
that's. I don't have a 200 on here, ma'am.
Let me see something. Let me look at my chart real quick. Coin. So we are above the 200 on the daily. Let me just see where I kind of like it. Let me see if I can get a easy target. I'm looking at the weekly chart and I have drawn a fib from the high on 12.2 to the low on 113. And these dojis. So easy profit target would be 337-ish. The
Bingo.
daily is oversold and crossing back bullish. Let's look at a low time frame real quick. Hmm, hmm. I like it. On the 15 is above the above the 200, which is good. It has traded kind of back into the 200. The hourly, I don't know. To me, it looks like a sharp. Let me draw a quick fib on this low time frame move from the low of pre-market on February 3rd to the high on what day is this? February 3rd after hours. We have, let me get rid of this. I should be showing y'all, but whatever. It's a
But
pain
whatever.
to keep switching back and forth. So we traded right between the 886 and the 79 on the 6th. And
Mm-hmm.
now we're making our way up. So 288 was $10 a range, which is not bad. Is an easy profit target. We do have the 200 moving average to contend with on the hourly at 284.60. But once we take that out, so you know what is important, I think, is what Bitcoin is doing. So let's see. And let me just look before I go through the trouble of, because I'm 95% certain that I know what Bitcoin is doing and it's still trading in that same range.
Of course it is.
Let's see.
So we're at 96, 983. But something happened in like the last 30 minutes where stuff just started kind of diving.
Bitstamp.
Because we were holding pretty well in pre-market.
To
But I
me,
feel
it
like
looks to
these are going to be
me
some.
on the daily chart, it looks like Bitcoin is going to take out this fib level at 95571 just based on the candles. Now I'm looking at the watch list to see to what extent stuff is diving. I'm only really concerned about
Not
one thing.
humongous.
I am in some Amazon puts and
Well, they should
um
be doing okay.
pretty heavy in Baba calls. So I'm a happy camper right now. What else was important? I had a dream that I woke up and Nvidia was up like 10%. Um,
That may soon be a reality because earnings is coming.
let's see.
I mean,
What's
and
moving?
Nvidia is really based on the measured move it had yesterday. I personally like the 140, 145s on Nvidia, but
What
earnings is
time is
not
it?
20. It's 921.
Uh, so trying to get a sense for what sectors are moving in which direction. SMCI, Badu.
Today is going to be really interesting too, just in that to see what SMCI does is, it can move some other things along with it. If
Oh
it's
yeah, it's earnings day, right?
it is.
Yeah, I would say that what would be your recommendation for the our students, our mentees in terms of taking profit or what at the open?
So, and I say this every day, right? We are not in an environment to hold a whole bunch of stuff long term, even if, and honestly, even if your contracts are later, it kind of goes back to my concept of playing with house money, right? So, oh, I can get a nice 30, 40, 50, 60% profit 5 or 6 times. And if we have a massive dump, that'll allow me to reposition again, even longer term with the house's money. Um, I think we see a little bit of a pop at the open. I don't think that we stay down here, but I don't think it's straight down either. I think that if I'm looking at what I saw yesterday everything Nvidia kind of led everything, at least in the tech sector. And without Nvidia coming down, you're not going to have these massive drops, and it doesn't look like they're trying to really sell Nvidia. I think it's going to run until earnings, but you want to see Nvidia making beautiful green candles. But no, absolutely, take your money. Um, if you're down a little bit at open, you're going to have to evaluate whether or not it's worth it to you to go ahead and take a small loss, or if you want to hold. And that's going to be determined by A, your account size, B, your particular risk level, um, and C, what your expirations are. Because I expect today to be kind of an interesting ride. I know we didn't mention it today, but we do have the CPI numbers coming tomorrow, and we've seen that tends to move market a little bit. So holding anything right now is a risk. And if I'm trying to grow my account, guess what? Cash is a position.
I agree with you 100%. It's time to start opening up these brokerage
You
accounts,
already know it.
closing some tabs so that I don't get confused, switching back and forth. But bear with us a second, guys, so we can get our trader lives in order. Open up my brokerage accounts. Um, those Badu contracts are coming for those of you in the chat. If you have any questions, anything that you want us to look at, anything that you might be holding, um, let us know real quick before the candles start moving. Closing, closing, closing.
Mm-hmm.
I always have so many tabs open. It's a shame.
Mm-hmm.
And now Amazon has its own 15 tabs open.
So many.
Keeper.
Oh, I
Yeah.
you meant that kind of Amazon. All right. And we're like,
Oh,
wait a minute.
yeah. 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 There's not a lot of stuff that I could close on this other thing. I got my news articles, my bar chart, so forth and so on. Let me get them these contracts real quick.
I'm liking the Baidu opportunity.
So these are
And I'm
some
gonna say it
decent
one more day.
contracts.
Today
I
is
mean,
going to be my day.
what
Today is
is
going to be my day to
crazy?
get into Roblox. Today is going to be my day.
We didn't look at that. Can you let's look at Roblox real quick? Because do they report? No, they
No,
don't.
they reported, remember, and they actually took a dive. But I like where it's sitting for a potential entry. And I think we
I've been
talked
letting
about.
Chat GPT like rank the contracts that I'm choosing. And I think it's funny. But I think it's valuable for kind of valuable for the people in the chat to see
So
that,
now
I guess.
I'm actually
But
looking.
if you are interested, the trades are in the chat. The contracts are in the chat.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Hmm, that's kind of interesting. So this, oh, okay, so 2 months. That's why.
Mm.
But this Roblox July 18th 65 call is $8. Um, the September contract for 70 is also $8. And I might be inclined to take the September, but today is the day that I find my daggone Roblox entry because that's the thing, where we talked about playing with the house money back and forth, back and forth. Jesus, if I had taken this every time I've been trying to take it, right? Because this has been my life for the last week, forgetting to make my entry. Um, I would easily have made enough money to be sitting on some long-term contracts on the house very easily.
How is it? Because I think that part of the reason that you have missed your entry so many times is because of, oh, and you know what? I forgot to mention. It's because of this. Because we're talking, looking at charts and stuff, and then when by the time you look back, it's like,
Hmm.
damn it, I missed it again.
But it's crazy because I just sat here, I sat here and I was like, oh, this is the entry, this is the price point. So like, why I just didn't take it, and then but I'm over here taking ANET calls or coin calls or something else. And where are we at? We got 1 minute to open, folks.
I don't know. There's this note thing, and it says that I could share notes to the screen, but I don't see them on the screen. Whatever. Oh, I have an SQQQ hedge play
Oh, that you do.
running. Oh, market's open.
It is. Mm-hmm. And see, like I'm down $150, which is not huge in my book, but just kind of looking at where we are, where we're gonna land.
It's jumping around so much. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Badu is giving us a nice pullback, it seems. Yep.
Uh-huh. But I'm looking at first thing I want to see as I'm debating what I do next is if Nvidia holds.
Hmm.
It can be kind of tough to trade these first few candles of the morning just because there's so much volatility, and I think people are taking profit. So I think some of this is profit taking. But I'm seeing some beautiful re-entries set up for stuff that I've already exited. Definitely seeing a good bit of that.
It was crazy for a second there at the open. My watch list was jumping around. It would be up 18% 1 minute, down 7% the next minute.
Mm-hmm.
But things seem to have calmed down. Now I rolled out of some calls into some puts on T Dot at the close. Let's see what they're doing.
Mm.
Question is, where did I do that?
Interesting. PANW is it opened green and it's staying green. Very, 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 very interesting.
What was that? Which company?
PANW. I called
Mm,
that a couple times last week, actually.
mm-hmm.
And I called for 200 as the price target. And we were just 199 a second ago. I think this is the kind of market that requires just a little bit of patience, as I think this drawdown that we're seeing might be a short-lived.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what the actual catalyst for this morning's action was. It's like I don't see anything that should have broadly dropped the market either.
I'm actually so Tesla set up, I think, um, for a call entry at this point. Let me look.
It likes to do. Oh, yeah, probably is. I probably give it a few more minutes to shake out, but that's where.
I was calling that yesterday though, just based on the fib level. Calls, monthlies, and weeklies. Let me see. Hmm. Now they have a cheap February 21st 400 that is so not out of the realm of possibility for Tesla. And it's irresistible, actually. Transfer trading options. So I'm getting in a position to take that 400 Tesla call, but I'm not 100% certain that I will be taking the Tesla call. But I'm getting set up to take it because it's looking righteous right now. 360. Had to
And
have a
so
little bit of patience with Tesla because I like to trade Tesla on Thursday. Are you still showing your charts?
I am still showing my chart. So we're looking at the SPX chart right now.
Okay.
And exactly what I thought was going to happen was that this being some temporary drawdown looks to be the case. Looking at NVIDIA, um, again, I think this was just profit taking, is what it looks like to me. So if you look at the NVIDIA chart here, it
Tim
definitely
is running so hard right now.
TEM.
And yep, TEM have called that so many times last week. But it's doing its thing. We got a nice pullback yesterday, and so that's good. Let's see what Badu is because I don't want to miss that entry. I'm going to forego that Tesla for right now and take the longer of the two Badu trades. Let me see what the dates were. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay. Cool. That was April. It is almost impossible that that trade will not, well, no, let me take that back. Um, Barring some crazy tariff stuff or some more political posturing from those two characters, it's almost impossible for that April contract to not go in the money. Tim is up 8%. What else is moving? Baba is back. Look at the right time frame.
And I think I just want this to be kind of a reminder to people. You know, it's a thing that you've said a number of times. Is some of this drawdown and the things like that that happen are intended to shake traders out of their trades.
Absolutely. Because it'll pull back, especially at the open, it'll pull back, shake you out, and then it'll run like there's no tomorrow. I'm watching Zebra because I just am kind of aware of what they do, and it makes sense as an investment. I wish I had thought of that 2 years ago, but um, SoFi is kind of set up. I'm just scrolling through the stuff that's down to get an idea of what might be setting up a nice entry for us. Let's look at Lunar, my little space stock. Yeah. AMSC. AMSC is, let me let my AMSC is set up. The market really is kind of unpredictable, but we have been able to call some um highly profitable trades. And so, like you've been saying, the only way to The only way to trade this market right now is just secure your profits when you see them, because the trades are definitely going in the profit. You just got to take profit. And that kind of
Indeed.
goes against, damn, Tim. It's funny because it's almost like saying, I'm talking about Tim, but TEM. Um, FPay is up another 5% this morning. Let me see what Amazon is doing. All right, so I've let my coffee get cold. I'll be right back. I'm gonna mute, heat my coffee up, and I'll be right back. Maybe grab a snack of some sort.
So, good morning. Rita says, well, I'll wait for Leslie to come back. Let me share
No,
my
go ahead. I'm
chart.
still sitting here.
Rita says she believes that Trump speaks today. But as you were, what we're doing, looking at, charts that are kind of beaten down for the moment, that Avgo nonstop. I love the reentry on this. I do. I do. I do. I do. About 241 ish. Is where the 886 is on that, but you saw how it wicked right back down. Wicked into the 50. It looks like it's trying to cross back over the 21. And let's see what we got on the. Ooh, that's ugly. 15-minute chart, but I like more upward movement here on Avgo, and I think that this drawdown this morning was probably a really nice setup to take that. If you missed it the first time, let's say 240. I still like that 240 and 245 strike. I've already eaten on that one once. Maybe a little bit further out. Let me look. Rita, if you can type in the chat what you think he's supposed to, or if you know what he's supposed to be talking about. Avgo. Oh. These Avgo 253.14s look really good to me. I think for those of you watching and listening know that I like to take my trades closer to 1030, but it looks like it's setting up a beautiful entry there. There was a little bit of pullback on ANET and Twilio, looking like great entries there. Ultimately, what just happened is you've been given the opportunity to get your contracts on sale. We're almost through the first 15 minutes of the market, which is where I like to wait till 10:30. That doesn't necessarily mean I always do, but I'm going to be looking to see some stability here in the next few minutes now that people have taken their profit or whatever it is that they have called themselves doing. And I am absolutely looking for like some Twilio lottos. And so when I lotto like that, I have a tendency to just hold those. So I like to buy like 10 contracts, sell seven or eight of them, and then hold 2 or 3 and just see where they go. Again, back to my concept of playing with the house's money. I'm just making some notes here.
I'm back. I just don't want
She's
to chew on it. Yeah.
back.
I'm having a salad for breakfast.
The last time I did that, I barfed. 10 out of 10. Do not recommend no salad for breakfast. But you can eat Chinese food.
I actually want a churro waffle. Actually.
Are we on that kick again?
Mm-hmm. And a
I'll
classic
get you a
Benedict.
churro waffle if you wear the chicken hat.
I will wear the chicken hat.
You wear the chicken. I can't stand you sometimes. You gonna wear the chicken hats for the okay. And just what I was saying before, we wanted to see, let me pop on over here to NVIDIA. NVIDIA led the market yesterday. I don't think you can have too much more drawdown on SPX and Qs if NVIDIA is strong. And I actually like those 140s on NVIDIA. Let's see if I can get a tiny bit more. But I think I missed that entry, or the best entry of the day has already come and gone. That would have been when it opened at 132. What is going on? But go NVIDIA, go.
Don't sleep on that US Steel play either. Um,
And
to
would
those
you
of you in the chat, I'm pretty sure I put a US Steel contract in there, and I posted some news about it yesterday, fundamental stuff.
now would you believe that that Tesla is trying to have print green candles? Because of course, why not? It's almost like the stocks that you love to hate. But if you know how Tesla moves, Tesla will pay you every day. Up or down, up or down. Tesla will pay you every single day.
It absolutely gave the same setup for like 7 days in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I think we might be looking for setups going in the other direction. But let me see what the 5 minute is saying. It's trying. I want to see a trade up to that 200 and then trade back, and then I will start taking it in the other direction. Devil eggs are the eighth wonder, I swear.
Would you believe I have a pot, and you can probably see it on the stove behind my head or something. I boiled some eggs today. Mm-hmm. I haven't quite decided if they're going to be deviled eggs or egg salad or just, yeah, or just, eaten with some salt. But a deviled egg would be nice now that you mention it. Yes, a baby shower deviled egg. Okay, not, not, not some of that other stuff.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. I know how you feel about.
Yeah, I could go. I was thinking about an orange crush. I need to come back, get some
Maryland is a
food.
beautiful place. This not this time of year, but the kids keep getting the heck out of school for no reason. But that's a horse of a different color. We gonna let them live. We gonna let them live.
I can't tell you. I hope that some of the people in the chat are still holding on to that temp trade. I'm gonna check the news, update the dashboard, see if I can find a reason other than the ones we've already discussed why it's up almost 13% this morning. But God, if you're still holding that trade, please say something in the chat. I'm scrolling through the watch list on the hourly time frame, and there are so many things that are set up to do exactly what Tim is doing right now. You just have to have patience. I don't like to wait until I see huge green candles to jump in. And so the only alternative to that is you have to get in and wait. Be patient,
Hmm.
hold the trade for a few days, and wait for your 10, 20, 30% increase.
Ooh, I like the way ANET is looking. It's a beautiful setup. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I know we talked about TSM the other day. I, I really like TSM for some reason. Here we go. I really, really, oh, and there it goes. And that's the hourly. Let's look at what it looks like on the daily. Yep.
So I
TSM.
posted in the chat something really significant about Intel. And if you look at Intel's chart, um, I think it may be time to stop treating them like Ford.
Oh,
Maybe.
really?
hmm It's one that I don't really trade because it's such a miserable paint watching experience. But now I think it was something about a partnership. I'm gonna go try to find that article. iRobot won a lawsuit, or they had a lawsuit dismissed. And they're up 5% today. I don't like iRobot so much. I don't like the industry that they're in so much, but um, it is a robotics company. What I don't like about it, I compare it to KCSP and KCSP or KSCP. I think it's KSCP, Night Scope. And iRobot essentially do the same thing, but they do it for a different clientele. So Nightscope creates robots for police departments and um, government contracts type stuff, whereas iRobot makes automated or robotic vacuum cleaners. So one is retail, one is more commercial. Mm.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say there doesn't seem to be anything. Robotic vacuum cleaners didn't sound sexy. That's all I'm gonna say.
Right. That's why I'm like, I don't really like iRobot, but I don't know how big the market. I guess Americans are lazy, and everybody is quote unquote short on time. So I guess the market for it will grow. Um, but I've seen full fledged robotic chefs in my travels on the internet. So
Oh. Now,
not
see,
some
full fledged robotic chef might be right up my alley.
I forgot what that was called. I'm gonna try to find it. It's not an iRobot product, but I say that just to say that's the direction that we're going. So I would look at iRobot's pipeline. But right now it is an almost $10 stock. All right, healthy breakfast out of the way. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anything that I want to enter. Hmm. Let me just mute real quick.
So I like the way that you explained what was going on with coin, and I didn't read that article. Can you give a general synopsis to the folks listening? Hello. I
You
think you
know that
might
I
be.
tend to forget that I'm muted.
I was about to say, I think you might be muted.
Okay, hold on. So I was saying Walt had posted it on his page. So I read it and I found it interesting, but let me go find it again because I too shared it. So I'll give you guys the key points as soon as I can find it. All right. Coinbase quietly becomes a banking giant now bigger than most US banks. Coinbase is transforming into a financial giant, rivaling banks and brokerages with 420 billion in assets. Um, so where does it compare itself? If you think of Coinbase like a bank, we now hold about 0.42 trillion in assets for our customers, which would make us the 21st largest bank in the US. And he says something about if you think of us more like a brokerage, okay, if you think of us more like a brokerage, we'd be the eighth largest brokerage today by assets under management. And so that is, when you think about it that way, that's just impressive. I don't think I ever thought about it that way, but I think that you kind of made that point last week. We had a discussion. We definitely had a discussion about what they do, and we talked about the fact that no matter what's going on, they do hold these assets.
Well, exactly. And that's why, like, I think that sometimes people just don't necessarily have a full understanding of what a company is or what it does or what metrics you should be looking at when you're assessing it.
I think that I'm gonna turn the camera on for this one. I think that um people don't think about or people have not been taught how to think about beyond is the price moving? Can I make some money today? What are the candles saying? People haven't been taught how to think about investing and trading from a holistic perspective. And so you have to kind of think deeply about, and that's why I tend to always go to the like to that section in TradingView where we can look at what the company does, what the numbers look like, what's going on in the news, are they getting contracts? Because you do have to kind of think beyond just that first level of what's the stock price and what direction should it be moving. I am going to look at some news real quick. I'm letting my coffee get cold again. But let me just refresh my news and see if there were any upgrades that we need to consider. Who reported, other than Shop, who reported this morning? And let me see what Shop is doing because they
Well, let me
tanked.
tell you. I can tell you. Give me un momento and I shall tell you.
So look, I entered on that red candle on Baidu and I just swear by that. I swear by
Mhm.
it. Now I'm looking at Shop and I might enter on these red candles if the IV has dropped.
Okay, so today is Tuesday morning. I am still relatively blind. There we go. So Shopify, Coca-Cola, Humana, BP, Leidos, Marriott. Oh, I think that was the other one I wanted to maybe look at. Gilead. I feel
I
like
wanted to look at LDOS and they have
Leidos.
kind of tanked.
Eh, Ryder. What does Ryder do?
That's
Well,
the car rental company, is it?
so
Truck
Ryder, I
rental
know
company?
they used to do trucks too, but they report tomorrow morning before open. I don't. Let's see. Or just thinking outside of the box, stuff that we wouldn't really normally, be looking at.
That's probably wise because I think that what I'm noticing is a lot of stuff that you would expect to run not running. Now I'm in your position and I feel like I missed my entry on Intel. Let me go and try to find that article because it was pretty significant in my opinion.
Okay, so this is not what I was thinking. It's not the trucks that we were thinking, which is fine. I don't know that this would have ever come across my radar. Huh.
What is it?
Ryder, and their ticker is just R.
Hmm. I'm looking for the Intel article. Oh, so Intel is building a quantum computer to rival, or it's supposed to be like so much faster than a real technical thing, but it's supposed to be like 10 times better than whatever's out there now. So I'm gonna look for
This
some
is kind of
Intel contracts.
interesting. Hmm. Uh, yeah, let me know what you find.
I hate to be like sometimes I hate to come off um the way I actually am. But the reality is I think I have forgotten more stuff than
Then most
most
will ever
people.
know.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. I don't know if it's $13 price ranges for me, but I'm kind of now I'm gonna go look because I'm kind of curious about what it is that they do.
You know you
Nvidia
can see
just
that right on Trading View, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
Just checking. So I'm gonna take some intel. I'm gonna take it on my Robin Hood.
Logistics and transportation company. Okay, so that it is what I was thinking. Supply chain, dedicated transportation, fleet management. I don't know how I feel about that as a space, but and Nvidia has gone negative.
I just got an alert from a person that I know has passed away. That's crazy. INTC. So for those of you that aren't in our chat, I'm looking at August 15th Intel $30 contracts. Um Let me see if I can get it on a retrace. Nope, it is running. Come on, slow as heck.
As heck. Perfect word.
It keeps I keep going to the date I want and it keeps rerouting me back to March.
That's strange.
Ah, maybe. Sometimes I think these apps are um sabotaging traders.
I wouldn't put that past anything or anyone, unfortunately.
So, in case people did not know, if I just randomly post an article and somebody said this, but if I just randomly post an article in the chat and I don't say anything else about the article, that's for you guys to make inferences about what that means, and what to do with that information. So, Intel was one of those cases. Go ahead, Intel, the little engine that should.
That
They're one of those
should okay.
companies that kind of disgust me because like it's like a Ford. It's the tech Ford. Um,
Well, yeah.
ew. Amazon. Keep checking back. Tesla's still dropping, huh?
Hmm. It looked like it was going to bounce for a second there, and somebody said, no, no, no.
Nvidia is coming back off of a lower high. Hmm. 134.48, 135, 134.99. So we should bounce here, I would think. Find support at the 2150. I'm looking at the 15-minute time frame. Badu. So the other thing that I have to do, and I know you're gonna absolutely love this, Natasha, is I have to figure out when I/we can do the mastermind, and the mastermind is like our highest level program. When we can do the mastermind class, live class, um, and I don't want to necessarily have your live reaction to that. So I'm not gonna tell you what day or days I'm thinking. Um, but that's something that we got to figure out because we do have a few people in the mastermind, and that is one of the things that they get in addition to Wednesdays is that additional hour of live every week.
Okay.
iRobot, my size. What is my size doing?
I'm going to take a brief intermission, grab my coffee, and check on my parent. So I'll be right back.
Do you think I'm gonna share some charts while you're away?
Okay.
Hmm. Okay. So now is the point where it's 10:08, which is like prime time for entry. All of the crazy stuff that they do at the open, profit taking, shaking traders out of their trades should be pretty much coming to a close right now. And so now is when I kind of just start scrolling through the watch list and seeing what is really set up. So let's do that. Lyson is one of those penny stocks that I recommended you guys take a look at. It's up 15%. Tim is doing his thing. Let me see if internet is moving kind of slow, but I want to see if we'll get another opportunity for an entry and where we are. I think this is out of here. Um, so fib, I would draw here just to get some profit targets. If you guys are still in that trade, you should have enough time to hold for 89. Let's get the 4. Nice strong candle. Stochastic is on our side. Same thing here. All of the moving averages were lined up and kind of clustered. And so, as you know from Wednesday nights, this is your ideal trade setup with the moving averages set up how they are. And so if you want to try to get in, how I would do that is draw a fib on my 15 minute and hope for a retrace to the 50 or deeper. I know I'm like 90% certain that I have shares of that one. So I do is one that I have shares of, and as you can see, it's been through the ringer. But based on what they do, I'm comfortable owning those shares. Intel, I like to at least the 200 moving average on the daily is at 24.86. It looks like we filled this gap. The low is 20.79. And so we've definitely filled the gap, but we've got two strong daily candles. Yeah, we'll probably retrace down to 20 cent, 20.51, just below this 200 moving average. And then we'll continue up. My price target on that would be at least 24. But I bought an August contract because I expect that with that news that I put in the chat last night, they might really be able to, let's see, return to some of these higher levels. Let me get a fib on a higher level for you guys. See what's possible. This is what I'm really interested in is these levels. And that's 2023. So just a year and change ago, we were trading much higher. I don't know what happened to cause this. I was not trading and I was running a pawn shop probably, I would think. But we got a nice solid double bottom on the weekly. That will really technically not be validated until it takes out the high of these two candles. But that's definitely this is a wide double bottom. And then this is another double bottom. If we look at it on the daily, that is this this double bottom here. And so I'm going to hold at least until the 200 moving average, which is at 24.86. Just looking at BBAI. I know we had bought some I hold some leaps on this. And so hopefully you guys are still holding some of those contracts as well. I bought some shares of this yesterday. So let me see if we will get an opportunity. Welcome back.
Yeah, I was looking at FP this morning. It did its thing.
It has some promise based on what it does. It has some long-term promise. So if we get a nice retrace down near the 50, I'll buy some more shares today. Just trying to see where the money is going. Let's look at this real quick. Remember, I just showed you like 5 charts ago how this was the ideal setup. I think it was this. Yep. How those moving averages being clustered like that is the ideal setup for a huge move. And so that's why I say, just one of the reasons why I say don't sleep on X. I don't think that deal is going to go through. I think they are going to collect that $565. I'm gonna just call it a bounty. They're gonna collect that $565 $565 million whatever cancellation fee from the potential acquirer. And that will be the reset that they need. So I'm probably gonna enter that. What is the ATR? Yeah, I'll probably get in. Even the daily chart, the setup on the daily chart looks good. You are about to get a 21,200 cross. Mm, it makes sense that Apple would climb back from this level. Support at the 7-1. See what it does at the 200 moving average. I'm just running through my 200 and some odd ticker watch list right now. Um, see if I can find anything worth an entry. So I'll probably buy some more BTZI today as well. Yep, I'm certainly going to buy some more BTZI as soon as I finish going through these charts with you guys, because it's bouncing right off the 200 on the daily. And it's still a red candle. So that is my buy. And I would be looking to, it's so cheap. Looking to basically double my money on it, but I do think that it's worthwhile of a long-term hold situation. I'm in puts. I rolled a couple calls to a couple puts yesterday, and so it looks like those will pan out, but we'll see. It was one of those situations where they were like $500 contracts that I rolled into $100 contracts. So I took profit essentially. Natasha, what is Roblox doing? Don't miss another entry on Roblox.
We are not even going to talk about it.
You missed another entry on Roblox?
We're not even going to talk about it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not really. Ooh.
Just not
When you
my
look
preferred
at it,
answer.
or when you look at it, so this would have been the ideal entry, obviously, right here, 15 minutes ago. But when you look at it on these low time frames, it's like, oh, I really missed something. But when you go up to the hourly, you see that not really. You still have the range from here to here. And I know. The
I
contracts are
know.
more expensive. I get it. I
So
get
not
it.
even that. Um, I expect one more chance. One more.
I think it'll happen at lunchtime. Let me go back.
Mm, or closer to the end of the day, because your CPI number is a pre-market number, and so people who are fearful will start dumping stuff. Oh, and one more thing, folks. Remember that Monday is a holiday.
Oh, thank you. Because I'm never aware of holidays. President's Day?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I know you were looking at Datadog. Like Datadog has some real potential. Some real potential.
I
And I
need to
think it
be
kind of goes back to that conversation we were having. I don't, it's a smaller cap. I feel like it could potentially have an outsized move.
I want to get clear about what they do real quick. Hmm, 150 to 165 from 146.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what the IV is like on the contracts right now. I'm gonna
Mm,
share. So I upgraded the options course, and I'm gonna share. I'm gonna add it on YouTube. I had to upload it to YouTube, and then I'm gonna put an implied volatility video in the chat that I think you guys should all watch. All right, so Datadog engages in the development of a monitoring and analytics platform for devs. This is probably real important to tech people. Um, their oh man, their revenue has been growing by leaps and bounds.
mm-hmm.
Now let me look at. Hmm. I have been to the mountaintop. All right, so I'm looking at
I
184.
could, go ahead.
Say it again.
No, go ahead. I'm just reading some news. I'm trying not to have to subscribe to this thing to read the full article.
No, just be like me and subscribe to everything. What is it? I might be subscribed to it actually.
So this is something called The Information. But the headline is Apple partners with Alibaba to develop AI features for iPhone users in China.
It's a rat. It's a rat.
Well, I wanted to read the whole I
It's a
wanted to read the
rat.
whole, article, but
All right, so that changed my focus. Natasha,
yeah,
keep
now
the
I need
people
to
busy. I'm gonna go find these contracts. I'm gonna find a data dog and see if there's anything else that looks interesting on Baba.
I wonder what that's looking like for Apple because Apple is among some of the
I was just saying that
most
I think it's
affordable
time
contracts.
for Apple to bounce back. So if you could find us a nice, affordable. See, now I need to. I'm kicking myself.
I'm looking.
110. I need some long contracts.
So its next likely target, which isn't much, is about this 234.69 for the 382. But where are the moving averages? Oh, mm, okay. This news could, in theory, get it above all of the moving averages, but it's clustering. It's coming across on the 4 hour. Um, it is moving right through the 2150, which is not far from 3-2, and then the 200 moving average really isn't that far away, which is at the 50, so right about 240. Goes to go look at some contracts.
There are a lot of good contracts. I think I like the April 125. I don't like to be really far out of the money.
Mm-mm.
Da, 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 da.
There it
Let's
is.
see.
I think I took Apple off my daggone screen because it just wasn't moving. Imagine
I
that.
just
Sure
said a
did.
few minutes ago that it looks like it's in a position to bounce. I think it had found support at the 0.71 fib level 3 times on the 4 hour chart, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
How is this even possible?
I absolutely do not hate this I know you like to be further in the money. I mean, closer to the money, but I don't hate this Apple 240 for the March monthly. The 230 actually isn't horrible. It's up about 20%, 25% today. The 230 is 870. But Apple could make a go for it. Everything seems to be on the struggle bus right this second, though. Nothing is really holding. Hopefully, somebody took their re-entry on Avgo because it seems to want more. Nvidia's back green again. Hopefully, it is going to keep printing these green candles. That would be ideal. We got to 134.38 today. Yeah. Apple can get it.
Mm-hmm. ACHR. All right, I was supposed to be looking at contracts on Baba and something else. I said a 135 for.
Baba, well, Apple. Good
Okay,
goodness.
wait a minute. All right, I got distracted a little bit. 140, I don't like. Looking for 125. June 125. April 125. All right, let me see something. Cool. April. All right, so I'm gonna wait for a retrace on Baba. Let me see if I can just roll contracts actually. Mm-hmm. So I have March 110s. I'm gonna hold those for sure. I'm gonna buy those contracts in this account. All right. Did you say you found Apple contracts, or am I still supposed to be looking for Apple contracts?
No, I like the 235s and 240s for the March monthly.
35s and 240s trade.
And here we are at 10:30, my favorite time of day.
March monthly 235. Oh, nice. Right at the money.
But I like those 240s also. It's the 50th position right there. So, like, if we're looking at where it is on the chart, I mean, it has to contend with the 382 level, but we may get there today.
All right, let me go ahead with that. News is incredible. It almost, so to me, that says a lot about the politics of the situation, in that um you're not partnering with Chinese companies if we're really um I'm gonna just say it the way I would say it. If we're really beefing this hard with China, you're not making that move. You're just not, in my opinion, doing that.
No, not if you're smart.
Right. And so the CEO of Apple, who is probably talking to our president as frequently as um the president of China, knows something that we don't know.
Hmm. This is the best day Apple has had in a good long while. I mean, but right, like I think the news is kind of corresponding to what we're seeing on the chart, though, in terms of its potential. Do we get Apple up $5? Like, that's crazy. But when you drop it down to the daily or up to the daily, there's a lot of room for Apple to run here. And it's definitely going to be something I believe that we're going to look at each and every day.
Hmm. Am I still showing my charts?
Mm, girl, I'm over here looking at my charts. Yep, that's your chart because it's all dark.
Yeah, Apple has bounced off the 7-1. 1, 2, 3, about 6 times, and my target would be easily 240 in the short term, the next couple days.
But yeah.
I don't know what you just said because I was knee deep in trying to get in to these contracts, the BABA contracts. So I am done for the day. I think I spent a lot of money. And I think I might be done depending on what happens here in the next few minutes. But I'm gonna engage in some morning proclivities. And so I'm gonna turn my camera off for a bit. Still trying to. Natasha asked, "Oh, I'm gonna have a Reese's cup." Actually, um, asked me this morning about just checking in on how I feel about 10:30 versus 11. So if you are watching and have watched the stream for the last several days, let us know what you think in the chat. In the chat, I'm sorry. You want to share some charts, Natasha? Look at stuff so you don't miss your entries, and we don't
Uh,
miss your entries.
I mean, we can look at what I'm looking at, like, but um, yeah, I'm just over here. I said I'm still in my ANAT calls, but I got plenty of time on them, and I've taken plenty of money. I'm still, I don't know what Twilio is doing. I think it's going to have an outsized move, and that's just kind of holding. That I'm really intrigued by this TSM. Really very intrigued by TSM and its potential. I think I like those 220s long term, depending on where you could get them.
You've said TSM 5 times this morning, and every time I've been doing something else. But for the first time, I came over and looked when you said it, and the daily is perfect.
I, I know. So that's we'll probably get into some of that a little bit later, but yeah, I'm I'm a fan.
Me too.
So,
Can I see the daily again and the 4 hour?
sure. Here's your daily.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
7-1. We've been to the 886. We've been to the
Mm-hmm.
7-9. We've been to the 7-1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what about the 4 hour?
Even prettier.
Mm-hmm. All of
Mm-hmm.
those moving averages lined up. How much are the contracts? Because
Um,
this is one you guys in the chat know when the moving averages are set up like that. This is a great setup. And so
let's see. I know you prefer to be closer to the money, but I like the monthly 220.
do what you do. Maybe you will convince
That's what
me
I'm
to
eyeing. So March 21st, 220. Like that's because I think it could see an outsized move. And actually, I think actually, let's just go ahead and buy it. Well, no. Leslie. um, that just messed with my focus. Wait a minute. Mm. Oh, so I think that's what I was thinking. Um, before I stopped thinking, what I was thinking is that with the earnings for Broadcom coming up, you've got Broadcom. Like you have, I think it could potentially. This could get to 220 sooner rather than later. I don't think that it's a long move. Let's see
hmm.
what these 220. Yeah, ooh, the 220. 41 delta. So you can take it out to April. Mm. Oh, though I think I found a better contract. 328, 220 at 620. I like it. Watching for an entry because I think we get a tiny bit of pullback, but that's my strike is 220. Um, and so the two contracts you couldn't really go wrong with either. The two contracts that I'm looking at are the monthly for March, which is March 21st, and then also March 28th. They
21st
must
and
have
28th,
earnings.
220s.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
I should write that down. I'm looking through my watch list and it's like I don't like to see um the absence of stuff up by double digits. And so right now in my comprehensive watch list, there are only two penny stocks are up by double digits this morning. Tim has given a nice retrace. Remember, I talked about earlier in the stream, waiting for Tim to pull back to the 50, and it is doing just that. So, you guys have an opportunity to look at the old contracts and get in a longer term Tim, because this is something that Nancy Pelosi and Marjorie Taylor Greene spent probably a combined 400,000 bucks on, if I remember correctly, this
Something like
month.
that.
I know Nancy did. I want to say it was like 350 or 375,000. And
This thing
then
has had a $30 move in 20
who had
days, something
who
like that.
had Tem.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's an AI health tech company. And so they know something. They know something is in the pipeline. I'm gonna check my new FDA subscription thing and see if there's anything in there when we get finished here.
Okay.
See what if there's a possible explanation for them being so interested in it. Still very happy with my Badu entry down there on that first
Mhm.
red candle. But right now we are trying to deal with the 15-minute 200 moving average. Circle back to AMD. Nice. MU. NVIDIA. It's kind of flat. Firefly Neuroscience. So I will okay, AIFF. Hey, do they have options or do I need to go buy shares? Damn, can't move fast enough. FIFF?
I thought you
Nope.
said AIFF, but
There you go. Thank you. See how short my memory can be sometimes? So I read about they don't have options. So I'm gonna go grab some shares of that. Just based on that. I read about a week ago, probably about this program that damn it, man. This program that NVIDIA has where they partner with these tiny companies. And I couldn't really get the level of detail that I would have liked. And I forgot until I just saw them partner with this tiny company. And so I'll go back to trying to track that down.
did we decide on a Datadog contract?
I thought I did, but I could be wrong. Why is this a lot like this? Is it?
Ah, you know what else we talked about this morning was Lyft.
mm,
Mm-hmm. Let's see what we got over here.
this is what the heck is going on?
Ooh. Well, Lyft has taken quite a beating over the past couple of years. I don't even know how I feel about this. It's like not enough interest here. It doesn't look like it has enough of a move either which way. $4 move. It's not quite my speed.
Damn. I swear sometimes when companies are running up, even earlier I said apps, but I was trying to buy those shares and Fidelity just did something so inexplicable that I missed 59 cents of movement fooling around with Fidelity playing games. Hmm.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I'm not surprised by it at all, but let me add this to the watch list. So I just bought some shares of AIFF because I have the previous, like the backdrop of being privy to these contracts, this program that NVIDIA has. And then I saw this article about that's the program. Okay, it's called the Connect program and this is to advance brain network analytics. And so you kind of can't go wrong. But they did run from $3.03 this morning to $5.70. But I don't care if they drop or when they drop. I'll just buy some more shares to bring my average down. I'm glad I didn't rush into SMCI yesterday when it was running hard.
No, I'm really wondering what this thing is going to do. Like, it has the potential to be a great freaking mover.
So the
It's
last, who you talking about? I know you said well,
SMCI.
oh, absolutely.
Go
You and
Apple,
we kind
go,
of
go Apple,
reconnected.
go. Did y'all enter those Apple calls?
Ooh, we kind of reconnected on an SMI post a couple months back when I was writing blog posts. I
Uh-huh.
wrote a blog before the split.
Yup. Isn't it funny how
18,
the world works?
ain't it, man?
Leslie got
Let's
me out
see.
here being a whole adult and stuff, and like leaving the house and talking to people.
View position. Who you talking about? Me?
Yeah, you. I think it's really weird because I think I kind of have you doing the same. Like, oh,
Absolutely, absolutely. Now we just gotta follow up with Marcia. I almost forgot to buy Bitsy contracts, BTZI. I mean, not contracts, shares.
mm,
Mm,
I think we're looking at we. Let me go back and look at some things because the NDX just went positive, though only by a scotch. SPX looks like it wants to go positive.
is it
Um,
gonna take out that level?
no, listen,
SPX.
I'm telling you, it's just like we just talked about Tesla and the way that it's moving and the way that it's providing a good entry every day. Until we can confidently take out, I don't know, 6120 and hold for the SPX. Every time we get around there, I'm going to buy some some longer puts and just rock
So
with it.
what I'm looking at right now, I forgot all about Powell, but a thing just popped up about him speaking. So
Yeah, he said that he doesn't see any short-term need to change policy, blah blah blah.
okay, at least you're on top of things.
Hmm. Yep.
Okay. So that should be at least neutral for the market.
Yeah, I think they're waiting to see what CPI does tomorrow. Is what I would think.
It's looking rather bullish to me to
Mhm.
get to. I don't know if you said this. I apologize if you said this. Sometimes I'm doing stuff so I don't hear you, and other times I do hear you and I just forget within 5 minutes. But AIFF is still climbing. Anyway, 6,100. You probably said that already.
I did.
Okay.
I did. And SPX just went positive. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so Tim, and I said this morning, we are undeniably good at what we do. I said if you want to enter Tim, draw a fib. I drew the fib. And I said wait for it to retrace back to the 50 moving average, not the 50 moving average, the 50 fib level, and that's your entry. And damn if you look at it and you draw a fib just on today's pre-market low to this morning's high at not on a 945 candle, it traded right back to the 50 and it printed a huge green candle. We know what we're doing. And so if you are not having success, I would encourage you to engage us. Because I've been at this for a long time, 6 times as long as 90 some odd percent of traders. And Natasha has been at it for about 5 years, I would think, which is almost 3 times as long as it takes, or as long as most traders, because most traders quit within the first 2 years.
I was gonna say, I feel like there are a lot of people who were around and called themselves traders and all that when we were coming up that are nowhere to be found these days. It's like crickets.
It's very interesting. Like but so that leaves you a handful of people that are still around, and that really says something for all of us. You
You know, it's
know,
kind of interesting. It's like, do you remember when everybody was a real estate agent?
I
Everybody was a real estate agent because you could just throw stuff at the wall and it would just stick.
I probably was a real estate agent then.
But it's the survival of the fittest.
Facts. Facts. I was thinking, we got 9 minutes, so I might as well take us out with some completely unrelated story. But I was thinking 2 days ago, that that's something that I really am passionate about and that I would love to get back into at some point in some way. I really love real estate. What happened with my real estate career is I was winning awards within my first 6 months, but I just found something that made a lot more money a lot faster. Um, and never look back.
Very similar because people will say, well, why don't you still sell real estate? I do here and there. I don't have the patience or the desire to run around with people all day when on a good day, I can sit in my pajamas watching my TV, which I don't really watch TV, um, and make as much as having to deal with people in their bull crap for 3 or 4 months at a time. Like,
I
I mean, we
never
also,
went, and I'm continuing this conversation because I really do love real estate. My daughter got a real estate license, and I've been thinking like I should go get my real estate license. But I got so much other stuff going on. But I was a seller's agent primarily. Um, I couldn't imagine putting realtors, buyers agents through what I put my buyers agents through when I was shopping for houses with my first husband. I couldn't imagine.
hmm that part. So, you know, ironically, buying my first house is I'm just like, oh, the agent, she's like, you've got a knack for this. You'd be really great. And she talked me into it.
Is that how that happened?
It is.
Okay. Oklo is presenting an entry. Let me draw the
I
fib.
hope
And
y'all took these daggone Apple calls, people.
Oklo. Traded right into the
I hope
618. And
that's
so
what some of
Oklo
these
has been
kids do.
running
Go
like
ahead.
crazy. Here's your opportunity to get into Oklo if you missed it somehow. Um,
Oh, let me look
that's
at
it. What
Oklo
do
because I
you
did miss it.
You missed it?
I did. Girl, I was over here doing 8,000 other things.
If I remember correctly, it's a no. Wait a minute, hold on. If I remember correctly, it's a nuclear something. Okay, hello.
What is the strike?
On Okla
Mm-hmm.
at the money for me.
Okay.
But let me see. They've been high as, let me see what they do since I'm over here. Yeah, nuclear fission reactors. And they have been as high as 60. They're at 53 right now. And so, based on my very short term fib, my profit target would be 70.
Okay.
And based on how it has run, like it went from 30 to 60 between January 27th and February 7th.
Nice.
So, you have running around to do after this, Natasha?
Very minimal. Remember though, they are closing schools 3 hours early because why for come. So no, not a whole bunch.
What time
I'm
you gotta pick nephew up? 11-ish?
about 11:30ish.
Okay.
But thankfully,
Um,
I ordered all my little stuff. It'll be here at my door. I guess because the husband was off and the brother
did
stopped
you
by.
not hold on? I gotta cut you off. Did you go buy AIFF shares?
I did not.
Oh my god. Okay. So you ordered your stuff.
Oh, it'll be here in about the next 10 minutes. So I should be able to pick him up and do all of my whole dropping off and stuff and be relatively stationary for the remainder of the day. I'm gonna.
I may hop up from here and go do some Amazon running around. Go get a couple FBA boxes. And hit a few of those stores that we talked about last night. And I need to follow up with you about a few things and a few people. But it sounds like we can do that after you get nephew and do your running around. But
Yeah,
AIFF is now up 115% and climbing.
see. Mm, Jiminy Cricket. No, no, nice. Nice, nice.
Yeah,
You know
AIFF.
what? To your own point, like what you said, we're actually pretty good at this. It's like if you can't find a way to make money with us every day, then I don't quite know what's going on.
Yeah,
So,
and I think that I'm gonna create you a calendar with very limited hours, because perhaps I'm everybody doesn't like me. I'm not the most universally likable person, so perhaps some of our anybody for that matter may want to schedule a 20-minute call with you to try to see how we might be able to help them. My calendar is already set up and available. But yeah, man, listen, it's easy. It's very easy when you have good teachers. Um, and so the other thing I want us to revisit today, and maybe we'll get some feedback about it tomorrow, is if we can shorten this stream up, because I really do start to get physically tired at about the 10:40 mark. So something to think about, and we can decide on um this week. But what else did I want to say? So I think, Natasha, how does this plan sound to just continue with this free model, let the world see what we do for the rest of the month, while we work out kinks and figure out what hours we're actually going to be here, and then we'll put it back behind the paywall
mm,
for Black History Month and for
for
the
like Black
Black
History,
future.
I can't stand you. Stop. Damn it. Listen, you have.
I'm stupid. I'm so
Uh,
stupid.
we can talk about it. How about that?
Okay. Okay.
Definitely talk about it. I'm actually enjoying myself. I think it just runs a little long. But yeah, I mean, I think we can.
But so wait a minute. Let me just
Well, and
confirm
so
this.
here's the thing, though. Like, if people want us to continue to do this to the end of the month, then I would expect some feedback and some additional engagement and stuff like that before this week is out. Because how are we? I mean, we can tweak it amongst ourselves and figure out how we feel best doing it, but their feedback is important.
Absolutely. So one thing that I wanted to ask is it 10 or 10:30 that you're saying, like, all right, here's my time? Which is it, 10 or 10:30?
Depends on the day. I mean, I think, and so here's the other thing too, is I don't think that the people who are watching for the 2 hours recognize that we're preparing in advance and then we spend a period of time before we even go live. So this is more like a 2.5 to 3 hour each morning commitment
Yeah,
with
because
us.
Natasha calls me like around between 6 and 6:30 most mornings, sometimes earlier, and we talk for about an hour. And then we try to hop on about 8:45 ish. 8:30 when we can. So yeah, it is. It's kind of damn. I got a part-time job.
That part. So I think it's definitely something to look at for sure. Um, but yeah, I definitely don't think that if I'm going to spend my time, and as you see, right, we are, well, I keep missing that tag on Roblox and, just being able to get into everything and the fact that it kind of takes away from some of the other things we could otherwise be doing. It actually, this labor of love at this point, could be costly. I mean, I think we're
Certainly.
doing a good job of managing our trades and entries and exits, but it's definitely something to be considered.
All right, so we'll talk about it. We'll definitely try to extract some feedback tomorrow in our live technical analysis class. But
Okay.
it's a minute past our time, so go do what you got to do, and I will. If I don't hear from you, I'll call you once I get back. I think I'm gonna go outside.
You're gonna go outside? Yay! Outside.
I think so. Try to get myself a phone case and all that jazz.
All the important things in life. All right. Well, I'll be around.
All right, peace.